GameStop is a word that when uttered brings feelings of nostalgia, hatred, or maybe even confusion. If you are watching this video and don't know what GameStop is, to sum it up, it's a place where everyone used to buy their games. Now, I'm not much of a gamer myself anymore. In fact, I probably play a video game every blue moon, but GameStop was a part of my childhood and I thought I should make a video about it, considering it's recently come to my attention that GameStop has become the new blockbuster joke of the internet, with people saying, "Remember those?" Anyway, in this video, I wanted to say not only what I think is killing off GameStop, but also its major issues that further makes it irrelevant to everyone today. So let's start with the bullets that were shot at GameStop before they completely fell in the crapshoot. The first most obvious one is digital games versus physical games. Back when Steam first launched and became the status quo for any purchase of games, it added an instant edge for PC gamers over console players. Because now they could download any game they wanted, no matter how old, and games most of the time are never taken off Steam. They stay there forever. Now, even after Steam became wildly popular, console players still said fuck that and would rather have physical copies, but slowly over time, people started to do more digital downloads because it's just more convenient. Now, obviously, there's going to be a portion of people who like collecting games and still want a physical copy, but the majority of all players would rather just turn on their console and play the game from there instead of just switching the discs. This greatly affects GameStop because their whole company is based off the purchase of games, and people switching to digital doesn't help at all. Also, if a new game came out, why would I drive all the way to GameStop when I could buy the game online and just download it from there? But to make the reality of the situation worse, there's no advantage of buying physical disc copies of games at all. For example, let's take movies. I have here the Alien collection of movies, all on Blu-ray. Now, besides just having the movies, there's something that comes with Blu-rays that digital options don't, and that's all the special features and even different cuts of the movies. Like maybe there's one cut on here where the alien drops down and takes a shit and Ripley falls face first into it. I don't know. Point being, the Blu-rays have material not on any other platforms. Also, Blu-rays and 4K Ultras have better quality than digital, so there's a reason to buy them. But physical video games have absolutely nothing. They don't even give you an instruction manual anymore either. Maybe sometimes there's some little bonus piece of DLC in the case, but most of the time there's nothing, and it doesn't give an incentive to really buy the standard physical copy that there is. To make the situation worse is all of the major console companies have digital shops already, further making GameStop more relevant. And Xbox released an all-digital console not too long ago. Could it be the standard for all future consoles? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but let me get into the problems with the GameStop store itself. Where do I even begin with GameStop? Well, let's start with the size of the store. I don't know about GameStops in other areas, but ones by me are so fucking small. If there was just 10 people in the store, that's basically max capacity for them. And get this, there's a GameStop at my local mall that's small as hell too, and imagine being in that on Black Friday. I've done it before, and you might as well enter a black hole, but instead of space shit in there, it's just pissed off parents and kids freaking out. To make GameStop's size seem even more pathetic, Family Video, one of the only video rental stores around, is bigger than GameStop. Like, what the fuck? There's probably 2 customers a day in those damn stores. Now, the next issue is the most well-known criticism that GameStop gets, and that's the underpricing of certain items with GameStop's trade-in value system. Now, I can say that GameStop's trade policy is pretty bullshit, and you're better off selling anything like consoles or recent games off Craigslist. And speaking of games and consoles, the other problem with GameStop is they never have any games on sale, ever. The only times I recall GameStop having sales on games is around Christmas time. Now that sounds pretty understandable, but compared to the amount of sales Steam and I'm sure PlayStation and Xbox has on games, it really doesn't compare at all. Because sometimes the games on sale are old classic games with new games, or if you're into playing shitty games, those could be on sale. The only deal I see at GameStop that's actually worth it somewhat is the buy 2 get 1 free on pre-owned games. I'll give them that one, but that's it. And my last problem with GameStop kind of goes back to the size of them, but it's the collectibles and knickknacks they have. Now don't get me wrong, there's no problem with collecting stuff and shit like that, but GameStop has completely overfilled their store with this stuff. I remember walking in years ago and seeing a wall with like action figures from games and stuff like that, and I thought that was cool. But slowly, over the years, every time I entered in GameStop, more shit like that started appearing, and now I walk in a GameStop and those Funko Pop things have taken on an entire damn wall in these small stores. And there's a big shelf with all these fucking socks and board games and hats and shit like that. And a whole rack of shirts. Like, what the fuck is going on? I thought this was GameStop, not video games, socks, hat, Funko shirt, board games, random bullshit in some GameStop. But anyway, that's all my issues with GameStop. I'm sure one day it won't be around anymore, and hell, I bet majority of little kids probably don't even know what GameStop is. But anyway, thanks for watching the video, goodbye, and take care.